case of chain passing.
On the overlap.
Brazil has scored.
Dummies and goes. Tyrone Roberts. That is his specialty.
Hello everyone, welcome to Rabbs Rant for round 11 of the National Rugby League and two great games to start our weekend of footy. Tonight, Canterbury Bankstown take on the Brisbane Broncos in what should be an absolute beauty. The Bulldogs were absolutely belted by the Newcastle Knights last week in a very, very comprehensive by the Blue and Reds. But the Bulldogs only completed 20 sets and they cannot win footy games by completing those few sets. The Broncos, on the other hand, had a very good win and they're going to be very tough. But they've got a couple of injury concerns. Young Jake Granville comes onto the bench for the Broncos and he is a fine talent. But I just get the feeling with a number of players, good players that Canterbury have got, they can turn it around, and I think tonight may be that night when they turn it around and get the 2 points against the Broncos. Our second game tonight's a return to Leichhardt, where the Tigers take on the Cowboys. Now, normally you would say Tigers lay down Misère, but they've got 9 or 10 players out injured. The Cowboys probably a little bit unlucky against the Roosters last week, not to at least get a point, and I think they might bounce back, and I'm tipping the Cowboys to beat the Tigers in our second game tonight. Tomorrow, 3 very, very good games. Probably one of the matches of the round is the Dragons playing Penrith down there at WIN Stadium. Dragons good win last week on the back of 2 tries to Josh Dugan on his debut with the big red V, and Penrith absolutely smashed the Warriors in a 56-58 point romp. They're going to be tough to beat. But down there at WIN Stadium, and I think with that back line now starting to kick in for the Dragons, I'm going to tip the Dragons to beat Penrith. The other game is the Roosters and the Storm, probably the match of the round. Now, the Storm had a very, very tough game against Manly on Monday night, and the Roosters had a tough game against the Cowboys up there in Townsville in very atrocious conditions. But I think the Roosters are playing as a unit at the moment. I don't know whether the Storm are at their best at the moment. I think this is the chance for the Roosters to upset the Storm tonight. I'm going to tip tomorrow Roosters to beat the Storm. And next game is the Seagulls to play Canberra, and again the Seagulls were involved in that game with the Storm on Monday night. Both got a point from it. Gee, it was a tough encounter though, and that may take something out of Manly, but I still think they'll have too much firepower for the Raiders at Brookvale Oval. Then we come to the Sunday matches, and the Knights go across the ditch to play the Warriors. And the Warriors, well, as we said, were absolutely smashed by Penrith last week, and the Knights were very, very good winners over the Bulldogs. But these are the games that Newcastle need to win, and I think the Knights, given their inconsistency this year, may come to the fore after that game against Bulldogs last week, and I think they'll beat the Warriors over there. It'd be tough to tip the Warriors at the moment. The Eels play the Titans. Now, there is some talk that Ashley Harrison will be out with the Titans. That's a big loss for them. Dave Taylor does come back into the side, so that's a plus. Parramatta were beaten by St George last week, but this is at Mudgee, and this will be almost a home game for the Parramatta Eels. It probably is a home game, but taking to the country areas, and everyone out there, I'm sure, are going to be barracking for Parramatta, and I think they might have the goods and upset the Titans in that one. Leaves one game on Monday night, the Sharks to play the Rabbitohs. Now, there is some news that Luke Lewis and Paul Gallen may not necessarily suit up. Now, that will be a big loss to them. OK, those two players didn't play last week and they still beat Canberra, but the Rabbitohs are a far different proposition, flying high at the top of the ladder, and I think the Rabbitohs will win that one. So good luck with your tips. Enjoy the footy this weekend and go the Knights.